recorded. Somebody else, moves it.
You did it.
Well.
You got it. You got it.
I stopped the recording. Person, it's Caitlin, just a little. Let's go with this. Thank you, Caroline.
We have blind squirrel finds in that now.
Yep, that's true.
Oh, okay, so let's call to order the July meeting of the Kansas Planning Board. Holly, if you'd call the roll, please.
Mayhood,
Here.
Mr. Craig,
Here.
Ms. Nestero here, Mr. Winterman,
Here.
Ms. McDonough, Mr. Youthie.
Here.
Caitlin, no,
I haven't heard from Caitlin, so I knew she had some vacation coming up, so maybe she forgot to let us
could
know.
be.
All right, and we have Gwen Hopkins. Gwen is here tonight to kind of observe and perhaps ask some questions about, she's interested in possibly the alternate planning board member. So I'd asked you to send me a little blurb on a resume, but I didn't get anything. So at the end of the meeting, at the second privilege of the floor, we'll have you talk with us, ask questions, and see where we go. So if you'd stand and join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. We trust everyone received their packet, so you all have the agenda for tonight. First privilege of the floor, just a couple of things. I put on the table a revised version of our roster. I added Darlis's name and information. Is that correct? Could you check it to make sure it's correct? And we removed Steve Grote, who's been on the board for over 20 years. Actually, thought they were going to, but I don't remember.
It means that they were gonna,
They're gonna,
they're gonna do it
oh,
the next, when we do the.
Comp.
things,
comp plan.
The comp plan.
Yeah, I don't recall them actually.
They're gonna do it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
I did ask Kevin about it, but
Oh, okay,
they were gonna take care of it.
yeah. So just for information, the town board meets the second Monday of every month, 7 o'clock, right here. You can view the agenda online, candidatesny.gov. You can view the agenda. It's only usually there 1 or 2 days ahead of the meeting, which is okay. And the meeting's open to anyone. Just feel free to come anytime you want to, or listen in on Zoom. You can see and participate in the meeting that way. And our planning board meets the fourth Monday of every month, except for usually May and December, because it interferes with a couple of holidays. We usually have it a week early. So what I put on here, messed up a little bit, but a couple of dates have already gone, but I have the meeting dates over here also, okay? This is a Word document and I got all messed up by putting, anyway, I didn't get the April and May meeting dates, but those are passed anyway. So keep this as your reference. These are your meeting dates, okay? And we try to have our agenda posted online 2 or 3 days at least. Often it's 4 or 5 days. Holly gets that, I think, quickly. To tell you what's coming up on our agenda. We have office hours where I and perhaps one of you, if I call you, meet with residents on Thursday evenings, 5 to 7. We meet in this little meeting room next door. And that's where people that have any questions about zoning or planning, or if they want to apply for a subdivision or a site plan, they come in. And in our regulations, it gives the whole process. But the first thing is called a sketch plan conference. And I hold those on Thursday evenings. Many times I don't know about it until like Thursday during the day because people typically come in late. And sometimes I call one of you just to sit in for your training benefit, as well as sometimes it's nice to have a second person there. As we describe processes that we use.
That every Thursday or what's?
It's every Thursday, but I don't always come. I usually come, but, so if any of you are interested, I can always give you a call. It may be Thursday afternoon and you can drop down if you'd like to do that. So those are kind of some administrative things just for everyone's information and reminding. And everything is on the website, recordings, either video or audio. Or planning board and town board. Zoning board meets as needed on the second Wednesday of every month. They seldom post their agenda. They're supposed to, but they seldom post it ahead of time. And sometimes they don't post minutes. They usually have a video recording, but they're also supposed to post minutes, approved, and supposed to approve them, you know, and then post them. So the zoning board does meet second Wednesdays, but as needed on that. So those are some of the administrative things. Another thing I wanted to mention, every one of us has a code book. There's all of the town codes, and periodically we get updates. That's what this packet is. Darlis Eileen told me she updated your code book already. But it looks to me like there are like 5 updates here. She listed them out. I haven't opened mine, but the instructions are in here. It says remove these pages and replace them with these. Okay. And so you can figure out how to get the code book open. It comes open, and just take the old pages and just destroy them. They're not confidential. You can just toss them, recycle them. So sometime update your code book so that it's all up to date. And those were the things I wanted to mention at the beginning of our meeting tonight. Is there anything else anyone wants to mention? We have a second opportunity towards the end of the meeting. So we'll just go into the agenda. We've done the salute to the flag, the privilege of the floor, coming to approval of the minutes of the June 23rd, 2025 meeting. Anyone have any corrections for Holly?
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes.
We'll take a second.
I'll second.
Okay, some discussion. I found several corrections, so as usual, Holly, sorry. Being so picky, but on page 2, the preliminary review, we have Mr. Grote's name, but no vote for him. Should say yes after his name.
Actually, it's a field place.
And then you have Mr. Craig and you have Mr. Grote. You have several of them where you have Mr. Grote, and then in the preliminary review, you have Mr. Grote, and in the seeker, you have Mr. Craig, and in closing the public hearing, Mr. Craig. So we need to complete all those votes, and then on the final. Craig. In addition, on the 3rd page, the first paragraph, last sentence, we granted final approval on the condition that it reads survey maps are submitted, but it should be the final site plan map. It's not a subdivision, so we don't need survey. It's a site plan map. So the wording of the site plan map be submitted. Okay. And then the next, and I think the last one, next one is a preliminary review in the middle of the page. You have Mr. Haas. It should be Mr. Haas, H-A-S.
Oh,
It should be H-A-S-S on that. And okay, I guess that's it on the last page. There's just a Mr. Craig that needs a yes behind it. Anything else? So that's the motion. I've made the corrections. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, Holly?
I should vote. I wasn't a member.
No, you can't vote. Abstain, right? Thanks for reminding me. So we'll move into the agenda, reports. First one is the town board meeting. I attended the town board meeting on July 14th. Let's see, reports. Not a whole lot. They talked about Ross Road. The CEO talked about Ross Road. They had an order to demolish an unsafe building, and they reported it had been demolished. And the contractor had cleared the site with the exception of about 26 tires. That particular construction guy didn't handle tires. So CEO is going to notify or work with the landowner because there is a tire recycling event coming up in Bristol soon. And so they thought they could, actually the CEO said he and his deputy might help the guy out and by actually taking the tires over there. So the site should be in order. The ground had been restored and grass was growing. So that was the CEO's report. Other than his normal permitting. Highway, they'd received the new roadside mower, but it didn't run that first day. They had to have the repair person come the next day. I don't know whether they got it repaired or not, but they were happy to have it, but wished it was working. Other than that, Honeoye Lake watershed, water temperature was 82.9. I don't know where they measure it. It's pretty high. Lake level's good, and there's some new algae growth, which was typical for this time of the year. Not excessive, and to be expected. July 2nd, the weed harvesting program started. Water department, everything's running okay. And new business, Honeoye Central School. Going to participate in a day of caring. They usually help us out around the town hall with some volunteers. They reappointed Holly Schwingle as the Canada's sole assessor. This is her first full year term, 6-year term. She's doing a very good job according to everyone that was on the town board. At the next monthly meeting, there is a public hearing for entertain comments on the Canada's comprehensive plan update. The group had the public engagement meeting almost a month ago. And so they're having the first public hearing at the regular town board meeting.
That's online. Anyone wants.
It will be
It is
Zoom.
online.
Zoom.
No, I mean the actual
update
plan.
Yeah, the draft.
The draft plan is online on the town's
It's on
website.
the
Front page.
It's on the homepage. You can click to see what it is. Other than that, the September town board meeting was moved from the Monday normally scheduled to the previous Wednesday. I don't recall the reason for that, but they did notify that. And they're getting ready to look at the budget for 2025. Budget workshop is going to be September 23rd. And that's all that I wrote. If any more questions, you can talk to Eileen or Chris Bestol if you want more information. County Planning Board, Birch?
Yep. So I attended the CRC meeting on the July 8th and then the regular board meeting on the 9th. Nothing significant. It is interesting. The town of Canandaigua is updating their code for accessory dwelling units. And that seems to be a trend that's starting to happen where towns are allowing accessory dwelling units. And I think that's part of trying to answer the question of not enough housing.
Mhm.
And I don't know how we handle that. I mean,
Well, this is kind of a new initiative out of New York State
yeah,
to authorize these
And
accessory
that means
dwellings, so they're actually.
California too is.
Yeah, they're actually intended to be dwellings, and so I'm not sure what the details are, but you said Canandaigua was updating their code.
Yeah, it had to do with, I mean, cause you have to consider it. Is it a rental unit? Is it an accessory unit for family?
Right.
And then, are utilities separate? Is septic or
Mhm.
waste or water separate? So. But I think the idea is to be able to put more people on a lot of land.
Yeah. Which is rather counterproductive to our comprehensive plan, or the town of Canadice. We basically want single family, large lots and that kind of thing. In fact, we have a regulation regulating multiple residences on a single tax
Right.
map. And so I can imagine there will be a lot of, if our town decides to go along that route, it could require several zoning law changes.
Yeah, and there is, I think there is we have, affordable housing has to be now addressed by towns.
Right.
So. Town of Richmond was updating their zoning. They're just, a lot of it definitions and things like that. And other than that, nothing of interest.
Okay. Questions for Birch? Thank you.
Okay, question?
Certainly.
I was just curious. Thank you.
Yes.
For the opportunity. I was curious about, you said affordable housing now has to be addressed by towns, because it's compelled, or.
I believe the state is saying you need to do something.
So there won't be a state regulation.
I'm not clear. I went to a presentation and I
Yeah.
wasn't clear as far as.
I wasn't
Is it
clear either.
required or is it, that was from it was a great
It-
presentation.
It
but
sounded to me, we attended the same one, it sounded to me that New York State is recognizing that there are towns which have housing shortages, affordable housing. That's what they're addressing. And it seems to me they were implying that New York State was trying to encourage towns to adopt zoning to allow, and they've coined this phrase of accessory dwellings. Okay, and that's what they're calling them, accessory dwellings, not an accessory use building, which we already have, that's a shed, etc. So they're calling them accessory dwellings.
I'm impressed in general planning terms in the past.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, when you speak, just turn your mic on if you would, till the light
Okay,
comes on.
okay. And it can be done in many different ways, expanding an existing house. Sometimes they're called granny flats, in-law apartments, that type of thing. But I think that maybe the desire is to sort of expand that.
Right. So you got the same impression, they're trying to encourage towns
Yes,
to.
the state doesn't do local zoning, but it can try to
well,
encourage.
They try to put some
And
global regulations
Yeah.
on certain things and then allow towns to modify.
I think they don't want to see towns zoning it out.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we don't want any small places.
Right,
So we'll see.
Yeah.
okay.
The other phrase I heard in conjunction with that was workforce housing. And I think that's
Yeah.
more in very high rent districts where there's a lot of tourism and a lot of wealthy people. And then the people who actually work there can't afford to
Yeah.
live there. But
Yeah, it seemed they used those terms interchangeable.
yeah, because I think
40%
affordable housing has sort of a negative context over the years.
So keep our eyes and ears open to see where that goes.
Yeah. See what's appropriate here.
Thank you. Anything else for Birch? All right. Zoning board. I didn't see any minutes. We didn't get any notifications of anything, so I don't know if they met or not.
I did watch your Zoom meeting. They have something going, there's some legal action. I'm not even sure where it is. Someone put a fence up and.
Southwest Shores, yeah. That they addressed that at the previous zoning board meeting.
Right, they had a meeting where they had the town attorney and then
Right.
they had to
They,
re-vote on what they had voted on before, just to make sure the i's are dotted, I guess.
This
yeah,
all,
they-
it all stemmed
previous
from,
meeting. Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
one of the CEOs, had verbally approved the fence location.
County CEO.
And then they discovered that it was not conforming and they are resisting moving it, but they're going to come to a negotiation as to where they can put it, that everybody would be happy with that placement.
Because at the first meeting, they denied the variance request. And so the applicant said they were gonna file an Article 78 action against the town. So it's good to hear they want to negotiate. Keep us out of Article 78. Thanks, Birch. Code enforcement, I included the report from the CEO, number of permits, several things going on in town. You have any questions?
I just had a question. We have page 4, but is there something,
Oh, he has a thicker package with other information.
there's
that's
nothing
not-
on the tickets issued? Or,
No, he didn't give us anything on a violation.
right, used to give us those.
Yeah, he used to give us a violation request. I could ask him to make sure he includes that. Something we want to see.
Be nice to see the short-term rental ones too.
I believe they have all of that. He just picked out the things that we had asked. So we want to include violations. All right. Anything else, you can talk to Joe Miller, the code enforcement officer, or Rich Choate, the deputy. Comprehensive plan. Like we mentioned, there's a public hearing at the town board meeting. Anything else you guys want to add?
Now, it's been a year and a half. Since we started working on it.
But that long?
Yeah, I counted the months.
Hey, that's record time.
Yeah, it's.
You know, the last one took us
Think of the money.
4 years.
4 years.
I think it took us a long time, but it hadn't been updated in several
Yeah.
years at the time,
Yeah.
so. Okay, so if you want more information, come to the public hearing or Zoom in and you'll be able to see what's be presented there. And if you have time, look at it on the website, the draft. Okay, it'll be a short meeting. Old business, we did receive the final map for the 2 applications we had at last month's meeting. One is the Haas subdivision. I brought, this is their packet. You know, so again, administrative, but we keep a package of all of each application that comes into us. It's our own folder. It includes the application form, the environmental quality review form that we review at our meetings. It includes sometimes a little extra photograph, and it includes draft maps. And then the final is they always have to give us a final map stamped and signed by either a surveyor or an architect and so I just, if anybody wants to see what the final one looks like, here it is. This is exactly the same map actually that he had submitted for Haas for the preliminary, so we hadn't made any changes. So all I do is we have a little stamp here, I stamp, and it reads subdivision approved by Canada's Planning Board Chair, and I sign it and put the date on it. And this remains in our files forever. Okay.
I assume that they register with the
Pardon?
county, that goes with to the county for,
The
Maps and-
homeowner takes 2 copies, 2 paper and 1 Mylar copy of this exact form to county clerk. Well, they go to the real property office and pay a fee to record it, and then they take it to the 2nd floor county clerk, give them the maps. And the Mylar, what that is, that's what's used by Encore when they update the county tax maps. They do that periodically. It's quite a lag time actually before they usually get to.
Twice a year.
Is that all? That's quite a lag time, I know. So just to let you know that, the final was exactly the same as what we had looked at before. And so that one's done. So we keep a file in the meeting room, or conference room, with these filed alphabetically by applicant's name. When that drawer gets too full, we move them into the vault and store them there forever, supposedly. So that was the Haas subdivision.
You have no lifetime.
Yeah. And we also got the, actually, this was from the previous month. This is Andrew Cittadino. You recall, he had a rather horseshoe property on County Road 36. We had approved that, and he finally got his final subdivision map as well. And he submitted it, and so it's nice and legible. Again, he took the Mylar and 2 paper copies after I had approved them over to the county, so we have that finalized also. So the only map we're waiting on is the site plan map from the Mertskis, which we just approved our last meeting. So that's the old business. And new business, we don't have any. No applications. I did receive a couple of inquiries from people that might be looking to buy property in town. So they may come up on our agenda in the future. Last thing, privilege of the floor. Does anybody have anything? Okay. You recall a few months ago, we had a timber harvest registration that required a site plan review. Now, timber harvest, and normally we don't have to do them because the owners normally use a certified forester or a licensed forester, or there are some conditions of people who can prepare and sign off on that. And so the planning board doesn't have to do a site plan. In this case, the owner didn't do that. And so we had to review it. In doing that, we kind of dug up the old paperwork and discovered that it's pretty outdated. And we have an actual application form. We have some verbiage in the code book, again, about timber harvest. But I'd like us to perhaps update our timber harvest regulation. So I'm going to be looking for maybe a couple people. What we typically will do, and we were referred to, South Bristol apparently has a very nice timber harvest. I think, Rich, you said that you had seen it.
No, Caitlin said that she had seen it. Apparently, they do a really good job with their.
So what I'd be looking for, maybe within the next couple of meetings, is perhaps 1 or 2 volunteers to look at our existing paperwork and process and update it. If nothing more, there's a lot of ambiguity in the one we have. It was published in 1999. Not a whole lot's changed, but if you look at the wording, it's not awfully clear what we required for them. So I'm going to be looking for maybe 2 people to get together, a little subgroup, and maybe look at our code. So think about perhaps volunteering for that. And I'll probably be asking at the next month's meeting for volunteers.
It's in the book.
There's a section on timber
Okay.
harvesting.
Okay.
But there's a separate timber harvest application form that's not in that book. It's in our appendices library that's in our file in there. So we can provide all of what we have today. Look at the South Bristol, perhaps another one. I wouldn't suggest Richmond's, but South Bristol. Sometimes Canisius has a very nice local regulations too, that we can draw from. So we encourage drawing from what's already out there, not taking a blank sheet and starting from scratch.
What happened with that? There was some controversy about where they were gonna take the logs,
Yeah, he complied with what we had approved.
hauling them up.
Yeah.
instead of-
He, we had approved that he was going to remove the logs by pulling them up the hill out to Canadice Hill Road, and then using Canadice Hill Road as north to Route 28. So we didn't see our highway superintendent didn't see any issues with that. But in the meantime, after we had approved that from a planning board standpoint, he contacted the landowner on County Road 36, which is just down the east side of the property where he was cutting, thinking it would be easy for him. And it turned out he was one of the town board members. So he mentioned it that night. We said, wait a minute, and so the code enforcement officer called him and he complied with the site plan that we had approved. So that was that.
Good catch.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Okay. All right. So Gwen, I don't know if you want to just talk to me individually or you want to talk about, I haven't actually talked to you. There's a description in the code about planning board alternate members, what they do and what their responsibilities are. But basically, we're a board of 7 people, regular members, plus Holly's a great secretary, taking minutes for us, doing other paperwork for us as well. And so on occasion, so the regulation allows for us to have an alternate member. The alternate member is just like a regular member, attends meetings, sit at a table, get a name tag, get a code book, get paid per meeting. But the alternate member only votes if one of the regular members is absent. But as far as discussions, tasks, if there's a task that needs to be done, the alternate can do that. Typically the term is, I believe the term is for 5 years as an alternate. Regular is 7 years. It's a rotation. Every year, one of us is up for renewal. We don't like to let people go once they're here. So the alternate is like a regular member, required to have at least minimum of 4 hours of training and having to do with planning annually. The town pays for the training, pays for mileage if you have to drive to the training. There are many training opportunities, many of them online. You can do them. There's a great series, lunchtime series, an hour, usually once a month. They have nice topics there. And they sometimes have all-day sessions. There was just one in Canandaigua, New York Planning Federation had one. Darlis and Birch and I attended that this year. It's also Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council, which holds training, all-day training twice a year. One in Batavia. The other one I think was in Newark this year. So they're in Genesee region. So there are plenty of opportunities for that. And that's pretty much the description of the planning alternate member. If somebody has something they can add to that. So the process would be, if you're interested, you could submit a letter to the planning board and expressing your desire to be considered for an alternate planning board member. We would then vote on that and recommend to the town board. The town board is actually the one that makes appointments. So do you have any questions for us or for me?
And I started as an alternate, and then I took over Steve Engard's position when he
Okay.
left.
Yeah.
So I was only an alternate for a few months, I think.
Yeah.
And then Steve left. So I'm finishing up his term.
You're finishing up his term, which is,
That would be nice on this sheet too, is. when
it's
our
on
ter-
there,
Oh, it is when our terms are.
right behind your name,
Oh, wait, oh, that's.
2026.
Okay. I just noticed that.
So you'll be up for reelection,
Oh,
reappointment at the end of 26. It's through the end of the year. So hopefully these are all correct. And again, in the alternate, I believe the appointment is for 5 years, but I'd have to check on the code what that is.
I think that the nice thing about the planning board is you kind of get a sense of what's going on around town. Which you can kind of get from listening to the
Mhm.
board meetings, but really what's being built and what's being done is what's really happening.
Our major activities are, the planning board has been given the authority to review and approve or deny subdivision applications, special use permits, and site plan applications. Site plan applications and special use permits, if we deny, they can be appealed. Subdivisions, if we deny, they cannot be appealed. To this local board, they can be Article 78, but the other two can be appealed to our local zoning board of appeals if we were to deny them to get variances. What I typically do when I mention the Thursday night, the sketch plan conference, someone will come in with their plan, a rough schedule, rough, and if there's some non-conforming things, we talk about it. And let them know what would need to be, changes that would need to be made to make them conforming. And suggest that there is always the zoning board of appeals, that variances can be granted for certain things. So. So that's it. You have any questions? So can you give us a little background? You live in Canadice, I hope?
I do, I
Okay.
live on Canvas Hill Road, yes.
You do? Live on Canadice Hill Road?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know about the lobby. That's good. I moved in summer 2020. I'm originally from Rochester. I grew up in Bright. And my grandma has a house on Candice Hill Road. And I'd been living in Brooklyn during the pandemic and my job went remote. And so I bought the house next to my grandma's.
Oh, okay.
Like, I feel like we did some subdividing with a lot that probably came through here. So it was the Hopkins.
Okay.
And I've been in nonprofit operations for the past 18 years. But I haven't ever been involved in any town or like any governing of the area.
Okay.
And it would be nice to feel more connected to the town. So that's why I was interested.
Okay.
And it's fun, it's a part of fun. Thank you.
Okay, so if you think about it and want to apply, just submit a letter to the chairman, and then we'll talk to you at next month's meeting. And take a vote on that and move ahead. Anything else? Any other privilege of the floor? Okay, motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Dwight,
I second that motion.
second, Darlis, thank you. All in favor? Aye, opposed, thank you. So August 25th. Next meeting. Yeah, like last month we had 2 applications, so we were here, the longest you would probably be here is 2.5 hours would be the longest you would spend.
And that's.
Well, we had